Hello everybody, Mark Adams here. Glad that you're back with us. And this week we have a really special guest in Derek Jones. Derek, thanks for coming. Appreciate it very much.
Yep, thanks for inviting me. Really pleased to be here.
Well, hang on a second. Did you hear that voice? He doesn't sound like he's from America. Derek, where are you from?
I'm from New Haven, East Sussex, which is about 60 miles south of London as the crow flies straight down, right on the coast.
And what do you do there?
What do I do there?
Yeah.
Well, my day job in the UK is editor of Furniture and Cabinet Making magazine, which is the UK's premier title for fine woodworking. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad we're clear on that.
Yeah.
But when I'm not editing the magazine, I'm teaching classes and various other things, and occasionally finding time to make furniture as well.
You know, one of the most amazing things is that the other night when you talked about all of the articles that you've been responsible as a part of the magazine.
Yeah.
And then you talked about your other job, which is teaching.
Yeah.
And then you talk about just now the fact that you make furniture. How in the world can you possibly find time to do all of that?
It's not easy. It's not easy, but it you know, like building a piece of furniture, it's about scheduling, it's about cutting lists, it's about a certain amount of discipline to make sure that you allow enough time to do everything you need to do in the cycle within time.
How many people do you have on staff at the magazine?
The magazine has changed a lot over the years since I've been there. I've been there 10 years. We're down to quite a small crew. So there's myself. I do 3 days a week. There's my deputy who does 3 mornings a week, and we have a designer which we share across 3 or 4 titles. Now, I think if we were all newbies, we'd find that quite a hefty workload.
So that magazine runs on that kind of a deadline every month?
Every month.
And you've done it for decades, and it's just down to basically 3 of you?
Yep.
Oh my goodness, that's just absolutely astounding.
Our turnaround is 20 working days. We do 13 issues a year, and when we get to Christmas and we get the holidays, that cycle shrinks down to maybe 18, maybe 15 working days in a cycle. So we have to be efficient, and we've been doing it so long that we are very efficient.
Do you find much time to write yourself for the magazine, or are you always trying to find people to write for you or to write about?
I love the writing process.
Oh, wow.
I really help that, because it keeps me in touch with what I'm doing. And when I'm writing, I'm learning, I'm teaching myself. And if I find things interesting and I can write about them, I'll be fairly sure that other people will. So I like to write at least 1 article, plus my regular stuff in the magazine.
Furniture Making and Cabinet Making magazine has always been what I thought to be one of the premier magazines in the woodworking world worldwide.
Fantastic.
And so it's nice to have you here for that. Let me ask you the next question then. So you teach as well.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the teaching takes a couple of paths. I do my regular woodworking classes. I teach at West Dean College, and I teach over at Dictum in Munich. I do some other classes at Marc Fish's school, which is called Robinson House Studio. That's in New Haven, where I am. But the new chapter in my life will be working at the London Design and Engineering UTC, which is just outside Docklands in London.
Yeah, and you showed an image of that new building that you have.
It's incredible.
There. It's unbelievable.
It's incredible. Yes, brand new facility. Yeah.
And how many students might you have there at a time?
We've got, for each year, we're looking at about 100 for each year, and we've got 3 cohorts. And next year we go back in September, we'll have 4 cohorts. So we'll be up to about 400 students. It's quite small, but it's growing.
And how many years does it take for them to go through that program?
You can do 2 years, you can do 3 years, you can stay and do 4 years. If you want to be an apprentice, you can stay until you're a mature student. But really, it's up to sort of 2 years.
What are the ages?
Basically. We start at 14.
14.
So we take youngsters, boys and girls, from all backgrounds, and we take them at 14, and we combine an advanced level of hand skills, whether that's in engineering for metalworks, technology, and we match that with appropriate academic subjects. So everybody passes through with a really good academic background as well as the technical
And when
skills.
they get done, are they then ready to go into the workforce?
That's how UTCs work, yes, yeah. We work very closely with local businesses.
What does UTC stand for?
University Technical College.
Okay.
So we work very closely with local businesses, and they help us put our curriculum together. So they have an input. So when our students have finished their training, there's no reason why they can't approach those corporations or those businesses and say, I've studied everything you asked me to study. How about a job?
Wow.
And it works. It really works.
Yeah, that's just amazing. Then the third thing is you do your own work
Yeah.
have your own business. What's the name
Yeah.
of your business?
Low Fat Rubo.
And is this your logo?
That's Low Fat Rubo, yeah. You can find me on the internet with Low Fat Rubo. But
What exactly kind of work do you do when you're in the shop?
when I'm in the shop, I have some customers that go back to when I had my own factory and a small furniture making business. And a few of those clients I still keep in touch with now, and they come to me every year and say, it might be a whole room, it might be a little box, but good customers are really hard to come by, and I do everything I can to keep them.
Yeah. One of the things you talked about the other night, we saw a slide presentation of his work. You talked about the process of making this.
I did, yes.
This is a beautiful marking gauge. Which he gave me one of these. I'm so thankful for that. That's incredible. The workmanship is astounding on it. Tell me a little bit about your marking gauge.
These marking gauges, I've always enjoyed making and using tools that are made by either myself or made by people that I know. You get a great buzz out of using tools that you're made by someone that you've worked with or spoken
It has so
to.
much more meaning.
Absolutely, yes. And it is all about the connection with tools, an awful lot about that, the connection with the tools and the process. But the marking gauges, there's been several iterations, and the last one were these walnut gauges made out of English walnut.
English walnut.
And at round about the time I was making them, I was looking at period furniture from the late 1700s, and there's a lot of walnut in there, always finished with wax, not shellac. And the process that I use, you can feel it. There's hardly any finish on there at all, and that to me is the best finish. Beautiful. So you've got a surface finish. It's all about texture and feel. And when I put the last coat of wax on these walnut gauges, it just resonated. It took me, if it's at all possible, to go right back to what we call the golden age of furniture, and you're standing in the same shoes as the guys that worked English walnut and buffed everything with wax, and the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I just thought, my goodness, I'm there. I'm back there. I've got something in common with these guys. Yeah.
You know, John Economaki, the owner of Bridge City Tools, says, why can't a tool both be beautiful and functional?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this is. It's got both to it. It's definitely a keepsake tool.
Good.
How can people find out more about you?
The best place to find me is at lowfatrubo.co.uk. There's the logo. It's easy to find. Google that. There aren't many of us out there called that, so just put that into your browsers and you'll find me there. Emails, and you can contact me on Instagram.
It has been a real treat to have you here. Thank you.
I've really enjoyed it. You've got a great
much.
facility. I've really enjoyed it. I had a great time.
Appreciate it.